Radio Rahim with Frank Warren. I mean, I can't ever get tired of saying that because every time I do, it means there's a massive fight just a few days away. This is no different. Now, listen, you've talked about the matchup tirelessly. Here's what I am curious about. How do you get a fighter with 19 fights to speak of, no amateur career, 18 knockouts out of those 19 fights, 2 fights away from being undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?
It's called expertise. No, look, he's done a lot of that before he got involved with us, to be fair to him. He's a competitor, and you look at you look what we did last time. We took him to a football stadium, his local football stadium. 28,000 people were there watching him fight. He's a well-liked guy, and they like him because he's so fan-friendly in Ipswich, and also he can fight. He's one of those guys. You can't take your eyes off the fight because any second he lands that bomb. I mean, he's had 2 sensational knockouts this year. You know, the Fraser Clark knockout and the Hearn knockout. I mean, they were absolutely, he poleaxed the guys.
Now, you talk about he did a lot of this before you got involved with him. However, those weren't the fights to speak of. The ones that you just mentioned are the ones that we remember. And the Hooney fight, I'll recall, that Eddie Hearn was winding you up like, oh, you're a sucker for that one. I can't believe Frank made such a huge mistake in allowing this fight to happen. And it almost came true. Sitting there ringside, while you're going through the gears, were you expecting this last-minute pullout of a victory by knockout?
Well, first of all, you got to remember he took the fight at short notice because his original opponent pulled out, was injured, in Miller. So it's a totally different opponent he was training for. But I'm using his words now. A championship fight is 36 minutes. Guys go out there, like Hooney, and they're working continuously, like he's working, but continually, and he was winning the rounds. He was well in front on the scorecards. But with Fabio, it takes 1 second, 1 explosive second, and he throws and they're unorthodox punches. Some of them, it catches you, and you've been hit. You know it. I mean, look how he left Fraser Clark after that, which the fight previous that was one of the fights of the year.
Now, that's been said by other fighters. I would say notably Deontay Wilder, who had acquired the WBC heavyweight championship.
And held it for 6 years.
He held it for 6 years. However, he did at least have amateur pedigree. It wasn't like this guy came out of the bars and pubs.
Well, he fought in the Olympics.
Yeah. So this is not even something that Wardley can speak of. So I only set this up to ask, what did you see in him that made you believe and allow yourself to position him like you have now? Like
Desire. He's got tremendous desire. Self-belief. He's an exciting fighter. He can punch, and he wants to learn. And he's learned every fight. People talk about levels, and he's right what he said, Joe Parker. There are levels, and you think his levels. He's been world champion. He's got an impeccable amateur career, and he's coming up for a great run of beating top 10 fighters. So that's his level. But he's come up every level he's had. Every fight he's had, Fabio's coming. He's had to come up a level, and he's done it in style each time. And the one thing he's got is a leveler. Is that?
That's how he keeps reaching that next level.
Well, that's what he's done.
This is true.
20 fights, 18 KOs.
There's a discrepancy up there about who called for this fight. Who asked for whom?
Right. They both. What it was that the WBO ordered the fight between Joe Parker and Usyk because it was the WBO's turn for their mandatory belt. Oleksandr was injured, or was not well, if you remember, so he won't be fighting until next year. And Joe said, I want to fight. I insist on fighting. He didn't want to hang around. He wanted to still fight. And we were looking for opponents. Fabio heard about it. He said, I want to do it. And he was number 1 as well with his governing body. And I think he looks at it as an opportunity to bunk in, to be able to jump the queue if he wins the fight and go straight for the WBO, who's next in line. So We spoke obviously to Joe's team about it, and there was bang, let's get it on. And it's a great. I mean, it's not like give me a knockover. I want to. They both said let's get it on, and I'll take my hat off to them.
It's a dangerous fight for both, to be sure. However, it makes perfect sense why Wardley would want this fight for all the things I just mentioned. But Parker, what's he thinking?
Well, look, he's with a new trainer now with Andy. I've got to tell you, they're both in. Look at them. They're both in tremendous shape. I mean, you see, they've trained hard for this. So you're going to get the best of them.
And when I say what's he thinking, it's not because he's not the favorite. He is, and he should be. But he was already in this position. He doesn't really get a better position by winning.
100%, and he doesn't. But that's it. That's what he's doing. He's in the ring. He's in action. And he's a fighting man. They're fighting men, these two guys.
It's called all or nothing. If Joseph Parker were to lose on Saturday night, is it nothing for him?
Depends how you lose.
Fair play. I'm not going to hold you too long, Frank. It appears like Wardley, it really is like an all or kind of anything else. He will continue on from here no matter what happens Saturday night. And there was some criticism leveled at Atama when he said, well, if I get the Usyk fight, if I win, I'm undisputed. If I lose, I'm 20. Do you feel like that criticism is fair about his mindset?
No, I don't. I think he's a 20-year-old young man, and there's a lot of pressure on him. Most of these guys who are fighting weren't fighting at the age of professionals at the age of 20. None of them. They all matured. What does anyone want to knock him for? If that fight was on the table now, he would insist that he has to fight.
It's not on the table, and it doesn't appear that it will be based on what Usyk has said.
Then maybe that answers it for you.
He says, Usyk says Moses isn't ready, so he's not even really considering Moses as an opponent.
Well, he's number one in two organisations, and it may be out of his hands and my hands. Somebody might order it.
He also says that the Tyson Fury chapter is closed. Been there, done that.
Well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. I mean, it takes two to tango, and if that's his decision, that's his decision. We'll see.
Now, I don't envy you. I envy you for having a friend like Tyson Fury. I mean, he's my friend too, but I think he's a better friend to you for sure. But boy, the back and forth. Like, just in the last 24 hours, after Tyson has said he was coming back, he wants Usyk. I think he heard that coming from Usyk, and now he needs $1 billion to come back. How difficult is it for you to take these calls and take each one of them seriously? Like, jokes aside, what do you do when Tyson is ringing your phone?
Well, he's not ringing my phone. We talk now and then. I don't drive him mad. He doesn't drive me mad. And when he's ready to go, he'll tell me. And then once he presses that button, we'll all start moving and try and make things happen.
If he does press that button, and again, I know it's just speculation because he will clearly do what he wants to do, is there really any other fight for him out there besides maybe Usyk 3, which appears not to be something Usyk's interested in, or Joshua, who, no matter what he says, is just waiting?
Joshua's a big fight. And there's fights happening. Some of these guys now are coming through, like we're doing a show in Germany. You've got Caballero. He's building a big reputation with something. You've got a Coley going to Nigeria. You've got and you've got David Adelaide on that kind. All these guys, they're all vying. And we'll see what happens. But, Tyson obviously wants to be in big fights. He's not just a boxer. He's a media star now. He's got two series on Netflix that have been highly, highly received, and he's got a documentary coming out. He's a crossover sportsman now. He's not just Tyson Fury the boxer.
Just about every name we've mentioned in this interview in the heavyweight division is a Queensberry fighter. That's a phenomenal position for you to be in. This is unique right now to the British side of the pond, but we know the American side, with Dana White stepping in, Matchroom saying that Matchroom USA having this fight in Stockton, and Eddie's talking about he's going to bring Matchroom USA to the fore. What does it look like for you in the heavyweight division on the other side of the pond?
We're going to America. Told you that. 2026, we'll be in America. We're going there. I'm going to take Moses out there. You tell me anyone out there anyone you feel that can beat him.
Frank Warren coming to America.
You tell me.
Yeah. How do you feel about this controversy into the way Dana White is getting into boxing? Obviously, the Ali Act doesn't apply here, but does there?
I don't know what it is. I mean, I know the Muhammad Ali Act and what it is. As long as the boxers are protected, and that's what the Act came in for, then that's great, and that's how it should be. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the, I hear it's a league, it's this, it's that, and until it's all explained, I don't think anybody can make a comment on it. It's great. Everyone getting involved in boxing is brilliant. The more, the merrier. The competition's there. It's great for the boxers. It's great for the fans. As long as the boxers' welfare, not just the money, but the welfare is being looked after. That that we understand what a dangerous sport it is. It's a unique sport.
Lastly, the fight was once going to be right up against the boxer debut on BBC.
Yeah.
Now, that fight apparently is going to be up against Ben Whitaker. Was the first date meant to wind you up? I know that you and Ben Shalom don't get on great.
I don't care about it. I don't get on with him. I don't even talk to him. I don't know him. It's not about that. My beef is, if you're giving a promoter 4 dates a year, would you want to open up a show and go head to head with another big show, especially with the show that we've got, is the guys who knocked out the guy who's heading on your show? Why would you want to do that? Show some respect to the sport. It's bad enough when you used to have Sky going up against BT, Discovery. All that's no good for the sport. 4 dates out of 52 dates, you're kicking off like that, and then you're doing it next week with another thing. There's no respect. You wouldn't do it with soccer, as you call it, or football. You wouldn't do it with rugby. Why are you doing it with boxing? Show some respect to the sport.
There's some question as to whether or not you made a play for Ben Whitaker. You say you haven't. He claims that you got a call from Queensberry.
He spoke to my son, but there was no offers were made to him. No offer. If there was an offer made, and you make an offer, every fighter says, you give me your offer, you put it in right. Show us it. If he produces it, I'll give 50,000 quid to any charity he wants to nominate. If he don't produce it, he can put 10 quid into my charity. How's that for odds?
That's great. Is that because, does that betray some lack of confidence in what his potential is? I mean, if you don't put an offer to a guy that has that kind of following.
Look, we've got a great roster of light heavyweights. Look at next week, we're in Manchester. Look at the light heavyweights we've got. A great roster of light heavyweights. Fight one of them. One of them. Not all of them, one of them.
Radio Rahim with Frank Warren. I don't mean to raise your blood pressure. Let me let you get in your car. Always with the chairman. Thank you, Frank.